Okay, we in the house, we in the house, we in the house. That's right, family. You're in the right place to be. We're gonna be talking about the mighty Cushites in the Bible this evening. That's right. We just got off of the Canaanites, which were brothers of the Cushites and the Egyptians. You know, that African bloodline in the Bible, which is the most holy bloodline in the book, the most holy bloodline, African people. You know, we got to talk about the divinity of our people. And so let's jump right on in. Ain't no sense of, we ain't gonna we jumping right on in. You see, let's get on down here with the Cushites. Let's get on down here with the Cushites. And we're gonna rap a little, you feel me? I think that's Kush right there. That is. And then you got the Ethiopian terminology also. And so, and I bring in the general always bring this out when we talk about this. Now, this is coming from the People's Bible Encyclopedia, and we got others. It's not just this, but we got this one scanned right on in. So we show you the visual reference, People's Publication, biographical, geographical, historical, and doctrinal. You see, 1924, 1924. And so when we talk about the Cush, we're talking about Cush in the Bible. Now listen, now we're gonna break this shit down. The name of Cush was derived from Egypt to the Egyptians, Kush. See, here we go. Didn't I tell y'all that yesterday? See how it goes from Cush to Kush? You see Kashta, which was the he was the patriarch of the 25th dynasty. He was the first pharaoh of the 25th dynasty, and the Cushite dynasty of ancient Egypt. And so his name was Kashta. Kashta. And you see this name, this variation, both variation, you see in the Indian, the Naga Kush over there in India, what they call in the Hindu India today, which was the Naga Kush. You see, and you see Kosh, you'll see Kashta, you'll see Kushta, you see with the KU, you see Ka with the Kashkush. And so to the Egyptians, Kosh denoted the district south of the first cataract, inhabited for the most part by races of a Nubian origin. And this is very critical that we understand this because in the academic world, what they try to do, they try to separate the Egyptian from the Nubian. This is what they're gonna do. This is why the Bible is very critical. You see, because the Bible shows Cush and Egypt as blood brothers. That is very significant, and Canaan as blood brothers. Why the academic Eurocentric mind tries to separate the Egyptians from the Nubians, say, oh, they black, and they not black, and so on and so forth. But you have to understand there has been a lot of pillaging and a lot of perpetrating, to hide these facts. And the history and the culture and the traditions and the customs are all the same. And they come from deep, deep south, even further south than even Sudan. Okay, so now Cush was the Ethiopia of the classical geographicus, and in the tablets of Tel El Armana, it was called Kasi, Kasi. Okay, listen to that, Kasi, and then in the later Assyrian inscriptions, the name is written Kusi. Okay, so you see Kaku, and it is in this form of the name which we find in the Old Testament. So a lot of the vowels are interchangeable. The vowels are interchangeable. In the Old Testament, however, the name has a much wider signification than it had either in Egypt or in Assyria. It embraces not only the African Kush of the Egyptian monuments, but also the southern coast of Arabia. But it also included Mesopotamia. It also included Babylon. It also included Assyria. It included Akkad, Nineveh. It also included Canaan, what today which is called Assyria. Okay, so we had to drop that. Now let's come over here because this is also coming out of that same dictionary, the biblical or the People's Bible Encyclopedia. And so when it talks about, so you look up there and you see Cush, you see Ethiopia. Hold on, family, hold just a second. We're back in the house. So you see up there, you see at the top Kush. So Ethiopia is you know, a derivative of Kush, and Kush is a derivative of Ethiopia. Ethiopia is Greek. That's Greek. Burnt face, country of burnt faces, lying to south of Egypt, corresponding to what is now called Sudan, the country of the blacks. You see, so originally Sudan was the original Ethiopia. Okay, what you know of today is the modern Ethiopia, which was first Abyssinia before it was Ethiopia, and so it was known to the Hebrews. The name Cush, Ethiopia, is found in the Egyptian Kish. Now you see right there, you see Kish. So you see the U, you see Kush, you see Keesh, you see Kash. I told you that the vowels is interchangeable. The nigga came in yesterday telling me about the can't hang no nigga, please. Go have a seat and sit down, man, and get you a notebook, nigga, and take some notes and go look it up. Evidently applied to the same territory. Okay, in one passage, we talking about the Garden of Eden and so on and so forth. Now let's bust off in. Now look, I put this in here. This is Ella. What's her name? Elia. Elia Levetta's 16th century Yiddish, Hebrew, Latin, German dictionary. You see, and it says that dictionary contains a list. It's to the left, and if you look, where is it at? You see right here where it got more. You see more, and then you see ethops. Then you see what is you Hebrew, you see Cush or Cushy. You see, so you see that all these the more meaning black, and you got more to say it don't mean black, but it do mean black. And so you got it is the same as Ethiops, and the same as Cush, all a derivative of black. Okay, so not only does Ham mean black, but Cush means black, and in Egypt and Canaan was also in a line with blackness, in a line with blackness. So there it is, man. You know, even what they call the Moor is, was a terminology in very similar to Ethiopia, very similar to Kush. So I had to put that up there so people could see that. You know, did you? And then now this is very critical. And it say Amos 9:7, and it says, what does it say? It says, are you not like the Cushites to me, O children of Israel? A nigga talking about they don't mess with the Hamites. And well, why would God even compare? And when you listen to this right here, to let you know that the Israelites, which were really the Canaanites, you see, and that they are, very similar in appearance. And even in, the Lord love, because you got to understand that God was already in the land. And I'm saying this esoterically, was already in the land because Melchizedek was already the priest of the Most High. He was already in the land before they ever showed up. What is they talking about? This is an edit. They've been editing the book, trying to steal your legacy. The gods of Africa were already in the land. They done stole one of them gods called El, which is an African god that they stole. Now they got Israel, Emmanuel, and Michael, and Gabriel, and all the Els, which they stole from the African Canaanites. So you see, are you not like the Cushites to me, O children of Israel? Now here, the Cushite is the primary race. You say like you talking to the second oldest son who probably, where he get to do everything. You know how the one right behind the oldest, or two, the third oldest, and they see the older one getting to do things, and say, man, he had to talk to him like, are you not like the Cushites to me, O children of Israel? They wasn't the primary child at that time. There was a secondary child, but let him know you still like your big bro. You gonna get a turn. You gonna get a turn. That's what it's saying. And Zephaniah 3:10 says, from beyond the rivers of Cush, my worshipers, the daughter of my dispersed ones shall bring my offering. So if you saying beyond the rivers of Cush, you talking about in the interior of Africa. So how in the hell is they don't deal with Hamites? Nigga, they is Hamites. What the fuck is you talking about? You just trying to justify your reason why you walking around with these Neanderthals, talking about they one of the 12 tribes and shit. And that's what's wrong. You know what I'm saying? Them niggas got crackatosis and niggeritis, but we're gonna deal with it. And so Genesis 2:13, it says the name of the second river is Gihon. We talking about the garden of the Lord. We talking about the garden of the Lord. It is the one that flowed from the whole land of Cush. Flow around the whole land of Cush. What did they say the Cush was? The Sudan. Wait a minute. That's what the biblical dictionary just said. The whole land of Cush, which was the Sudan. What river is that? It's the Nile. It's the Nile. Numbers 12:1, it says Miriam, which was the sister of Moses, and Aaron, his brother, spoke against Moses because of the Cushite woman whom he had married, for he had married a Cushite woman. They talking about they don't, but did God, and matter of fact, when Miriam spoke, and this show you something right there. God didn't curse Moses for that. Did God curse Moses for that? This is his greatest prophet. Moses is the greatest prophet outside of Melchizedek. Melchizedek is the most powerful entity in all the Bible, period. Because all of them took from Melchizedek. But Moses is second behind Melchizedek. But did God curse? And you talking about, we don't mess, but Moses did. He did. Abraham did. He did. All of them did. But now today, somehow, they don't mess with the Hamite. So, and you know what's crazy, when Moses married that Cushite woman, and Miriam spoke against her, Aaron did too. God cursed Miriam with damn leprosy. Now, what I'm showing you, and I'm gonna show you how that God is, because he didn't curse Aaron. He cursed man. Both of them spoke against Moses, but he only cursed he only cursed Miriam, with leprosy. So that just show you he's a sexist God. He didn't curse Aaron, who was, I guess he was the high priest. So he didn't curse him. He spared him. Ezekiel 38:5, it says Persia, Cush, and put, which is also spelled Phut, are with them, all of them with shield and helmet. But Persia is also a part of Mesopotamia, which was founded by Nimrod, the Ethiopian. So when it says Persia, which is also Mesopotamia, and is in alignment with the Cushite Ethiopian family. That's Nimrod. You see? And so you see all of them are in league with the great mother Cush. And then you got Jeremiah 46:9, which says of advance old horses and rage old chariots. Let the warriors go out, men of Cush and of Put, who are foot, who handle the shield, men of Lud, skilled in handling the bow. And so Lud was also, I think, of the children of Egypt. I think he had a son, Lumidim or something like that. And so I believe they was the children of Egypt. And so we're gonna touch this too. Chronicles 1, where it talk about the sons of Cush. Seba or Saba, Sabian, Havilah, and which was mentioned in the garden of the Lord, the Garden of Eden, Sapta, Rama, Sapteka, the sons of Rama, Sheba, and Dedan, which means that what they call Arabia today was first populated and civilized by the Cushites. There was no Arabs in that land at that time. The original peoples of that land, the Mendonite, which was in north or west, what they call today Arabia. I just call it Sheba, but I don't want to mess your geography, your orientation up. So we'll just say Arabia, so you know what we're talking about. But in the ancient times, it was Sheba. Sheba was actually the southern portion of it that they call Arabia Felix, which means Arabia the happy, or this was the best part of the Arabian land. And so it was considered, very similar to Ethiopia and that southern region, and more, almost like a paradise. And then you see Ezekiel 27:22, the traders of Sheba and Ramah traded with you. They exchange for your wares the best of all kinds of spices and all precious stones and gold. Listen to it, man. It's giving up the information. Spices, and all, the frankincense, the myrrh, and all all that amber and all them things that, and the precious stones and the gold. This was us. This was us. And then Jeremiah 13:23, it says, can the Ethiopian change his skin, or the leopard his spot? So right there, can the Ethiopian change his skin? And so that lets you know that being black, and that the Egyptians were brothers to the Cushites, Ethiopians. And so if they are making clear reference to the fact that the Ethiopian, the Cushite are dark black, then what would that make the Egyptians? And then Ham also was considered to be black, with burnt and swarthy. That's what they said in the dictionary, family. So, we are showing in Ethiopia is mentioned in the Garden of Eden, Ethiopia, Egypt together mentioned, all, side by side. If I showed you how many times where they speak of Egypt, and they also speak of Ethiopia at the same time, they do that a lot. and Egypt and Ethiopia. And then they say and Ethiopia and Egypt. You know, they were always considered, side by side, side by side, no different than the 12 tribes of Israel. And so, this is the one thing that's critical about the Bible, that it clearly shows that Egypt is in the bloodline of Africa. Not no damn European, no Arab, but none of that. It's an African bloodline, family. And so I appreciate y'all, man. We're going to keep it moving because we got some more knowledge to drop. We can't do it all at one time. But I guarantee you, every one of these videos that you open up, you're going to get some, it's going to be packed with knowledge from beginning to end. So what I want y'all to do now, we getting down with the Egyptian mystery system on Patreon. The Melchizedek I just did that one, and it's smoking. If you want to go over there, it's waiting on you right now at the top of the page. The Order of Melchizedek. It's about 30 minutes long, and you can tap in. Plus, you got over 600 other, videos there. So most definitely click that link and get up. But I'm doing the mystery system. I got a couple more on YouTube that I'm gonna do, and then I'm gonna tap in over there on that African Egyptian mystery system. You ain't gonna want to miss that because, of course, I'm gonna have a lot of visuals that's gonna blow the mind. Don't miss it. I'll see you in a minute. Boom. Black Power. Uh-oh, Ray in the house. I didn't see you. I see you now. Okay, I see you on the next live stream.